We're back.
Hello.
Hello.
There's another hello from someone else today. Welcome, Ash. For those of you who don't know, this is Ash. He's a friend and fan of the podcast, so we've been wanting to get him on for a while, and here he is. So, hello, Ash. How are you?
I'm alright. Thank you for having me, first of all.
Right.
Excited to get started.
We're 1 point down today. Kyle has prior engagements, so he is unable to attend this week, but he will be back next week.
Absolutely shocking. He definitely won't watch this, so I can
Is
sleep.
that another Elton John concert, is it?
You know he won't watch it. And Greg's here with me. He's made a wee visit to Dumfries, so
Yes.
we're spicing it up a bit. It's weird.
It is
Oh,
weird.
wait. We got 11 likes last week. We got more than the 10 that you needed for the slap in the sunburn, so that was good.
Thankfully,
I'm raging at Elon Musk. I tagged him in that tweet.
He did actually. I think that shows that Twitter's better than Threads. No, what was it? Oh, I forgot what it was.
Threads is better than Twitter.
Yeah, that was it. I've still not got my head around that Thread yet. I need to have a look.
I've still not posted it.
I've not even been on it.
We've not talked about the kits in a while. Right, Ash, talk us through that kit. It looks funky, like.
It's so this is a Mexican 4th tier. This was like,
that's well cool.
It's one of those wee mystery crate things I got for Christmas from my mum and dad. And to be fair, it's pretty cool.
Oh, it's really cool. I've not seen that before, actually.
That's encouraged me to get one of the kit blind bags. I've been.
They are quite good. And you can, I can't remember what one they use, but you can select like what leagues and teams you don't want, and then they'll pick.
So Celtic.
Yeah, I've seen someone on Twitter who was a massive Celtic fan who put in, "I don't want Rangers, Linfield, or Hamburg or something," and they sent him an England top, and he was absolutely furious.
Brilliant.
Right. Greg has brought a green top to my house.
I have. He's not happy.
I am surprised he's not been kicked out.
It's a different team, so it's fine.
We're choosing from the minor selection of tops I have in Dumfries. It is Werder Bremen once again with the 1 star.
I am repping the Shrimpers again, Southend, although they're in a bit of a sticky situation at the minute.
I really like that Southend top. I love the sleeve.
I
don't know why. It's really smart. Yeah,
it's a nice one. Macron seemed to be improving. This was last season. No. Yeah, last season, I think. It's nice. Obviously, I've told the podcast before, but I saw them at away at York, but they were wearing the away kit, so it didn't really matter. That was
yep.
Yes.
Right, we're going to start off with a wee interview with our Q&A session with our guest. So, Ash, what football teams do you support and why?
So, interesting story. So, I was a Gretna fan, which I'm going to get loads of hate for.
Am I the only person here who's not supported a club that's died? Yeah.
So that one was back in primary school. Gretna would always do free tickets for kids just to try and encourage you to get the game. Something I believe Queens should do. So if Queens are listening,
they definitely used to.
They definitely used to, yeah. But they don't tend to do as many fan days as they used. But anyway, going back to this point. So Gretna used to do free tickets, and it became a Saturday thing where me and my grandpa would go to the Gretna games. Aaron would get dumped with my gran to go and shopping. Aaron's my wee brother. And it just became a hobby. And then the hobby turned into a season ticket. And then obviously the club died. And after that, I didn't really follow Scottish football. I still went to the odd occasional Queen's game. But being a Gretna fan,
nice.
It wasn't the same. And I'll get abused for that. But team now is Man United, obviously. Parents are Man U fans, been to lots of Man U games now. And it's one of those where, as a young kid, you were called a glory hunter. And the best thing about being a Man United fan now is you don't get called that. Although the performances are dire. And honestly, the Moyes era, the Van Gaal era, it's been terrible. At least now.
You miss out the Mourinho era and the Solskjaer era. I'll remind you of those as well.
Solskjaer, I don't know. I'm on edge with Solskjaer.
It's getting better again.
Yeah.
It's getting better again.
It's getting better. I think what Ten Hag's done to the club as well. Like, as much as I'm sad to see De Gea go, I think it was time for him to go. And the way he handled the Ronaldo situation, and even the way he's handled the Maguire situation, he's came in, he's said no one's bigger than the club, and hopefully, fingers crossed, next season we'll do better.
You're right. No one's bigger than the club. I agree with you with that one, actually. A bit of a current affair. What do you think about Maguire being stripped as captain?
So, obviously, I'm happy. I think Maguire gets a lot of stick when he plays for England, he is a good player. I don't think he suits United's system. I think he's a bit of an old school defender. He's not confident playing it from the back, which unfortunately now is such a big thing in bigger teams' philosophy. And I think that's why De Gea didn't fit in Erik ten Hag's system, because it's such a big thing. You see Ederson, you see like Ramsdale, etc. They're so confident from playing from the back.
Yeah,
so
definitely.
It's one of those. I think it's 100% the right decision. It's just whether or not now he stays at Man United. I think he wants to fight for his position, but let's face it, he's not. He's a bench player in that team.
It's been coming as well, hasn't it?
It has been coming.
Banned most of last season.
I think it's a case of who buys him now. You really need someone to come in and buy him.
I think as well, the big thing about Maguire is because he's English as well, he gets a lot more media attention. Like, there's so many players, especially in the last few years in that Man U team, that haven't played to their potential, and they just get away with it. Well, but he's English, and all the focus is on him. It's similar to Sancho,
Rashford when he's not playing well.
Yeah. And then a lot of foreign players like Fred, for example. Fred can be world class one day, next day he can look like a Sunday league player, and he hardly gets any stick. So really it's one of those. I think he has to go. But
yeah,
I think it depends on the court case as well. You know, he's not been that kind of marks.
Yeah, exactly.
Stopping of being particularly amazing. He's scheduled to go back for his appeal hearing next year, so things might change for him after that, depending on how it goes.
Yeah, backtracking to De Gea, I think it's the right thing to do, but I think it's a few seasons too late. I think he's going to tarnish his legacy a wee bit.
Definitely, but it's one of those things. Like, I'm interested to see where De Gea goes next, because for me, when we had Sergio Romero, he's probably. This could be a bias thing, but I generally thought he was the second best goalkeeper in that league at the time. And then I think now he's playing in Argentina or somewhere. I thought he was a top goalkeeper, and he was. I think at the time he was number one for Argentina. And I couldn't tell you where he was now.
Yeah, I don't actually know where it is. I knew he was definitely one of them.
I assumed he'd retire, but I could be very wrong.
Obviously Martinez was number one for Argentina at the minute.
Yes.
It's hard to beat.
There's something else I was going with the De Gea point, and I've completely forgotten what it was. Oh yeah, if only the fax machine at Real Madrid had gone through a minute quicker, whatever year it was, we wouldn't be having this conversation.
I forgot all about that.
I'm just looking at Romero here. What's he doing?
Yes, where is he?
He plays.
Oh, it's an is. It's not a was. It's an is.
He plays for Boca Juniors.
Well then,
yeah, number one. He's made 21 appearances since 2022. I can't remember that.
That's not terrible. And he was at Venezia before, so he was playing Serie A football after he left Man United, or Serie B into Serie A.
Yeah.
He was Sampdoria before. It was Sampdoria, then Monaco, and then Man United.
It's not terrible, but yeah,
he's played 96 times. He's played for Argentina.
Is he younger than I think he is?
He is 36.
Yes, he's younger than I think.
Still a few years left in the attack, I'd say.
Yes. What was your next question?
My next question is, what's your most memorable football match?
So there's been a couple, but I think probably standout would have been the Great versus Hearts 2006 Scottish Cup final. Just because obviously it was such a big occasion for Gretna to get there. So big that the team wore kilts to the actual stadium. But it was one of those, so obviously being a Gretna fan, I needed tickets. And I'd never got tickets, and then we got a wee email in a couple of weeks before, and someone supplied me with tickets. And it's one of those things, like, I think it was McGuffey scored in the 76th minute to take it to penalties, and before penalties, Insomnia played by Faithless, and every time I hear that song now, it just gives me goosebumps. Although we lost the penalty shootout, it's just like that motivation of like, come on. And then it was one of the worst penalty shootouts I've ever seen.
I don't really remember it, to be honest. I've vague memory, but
I know where I was. I remember listening to it. I listened to it on the radio in Dumfries in a car somewhere, but
it's quite mental when you think about it. Gretna did it, 2006, then Queens for 2008. When you think about small Southwest Scottish teams,
quite crazy.
That is mental, but yeah, I'm not surprised that's your most memorable moment.
Yes.
A bit of a dampener that they didn't win, but it's one of these things I'll share. Right, we'll move on. Right, so we both know you've been involved in youth football, but for the viewers and listeners. It depends what platform they're listening on, I suppose. What was your involvement in youth football?
So that one's a bit different. So back in the day when I was a wee bit slimmer, before uni, as Greg will too.
Oh, yes.
Uni destroys your body.
Mine was destroyed well before uni, don't worry.
I finished school, was encouraged to go take a H&C course at college because at the time I was quite physically fit and was quite good at PE performance. So I was encouraged to go do a H&C. And with college, your course is 50% written, 50% practical. So obviously you needed the practical experience. At the time, I had just finished playing for Grayston Rovers back at high school. And I did wee bits and bobs for them. So I did wee grounds work like brush the 3G, cut the grass, all sort of groundsman jobs, which I actually really like because I've always liked gardening. I'm weird like that. And then one day I was just asked to help at an Easter camp. So did that, and that kind of kickstart a sort of coaching career, if you would call it that. I mean, I only did it, 2 years? So it became Easter camps, then summer camps, and then eventually through my college degree, I was offered a chance to coach the under-13s Grayston as an assistant, which was fantastic because it got me experience and it meant that I wasn't the coach. But then the under-17s team had too many players, so they were chopping down to 3 teams. So a week before the season started, I was offered the under-17s coaching role, which was one of those I said yes to without really thinking about it. So I was 18 at the time coaching, maybe 18 or 19 at the time coaching 17-year-olds, which one of them happened to be my brother and his friends.
Which is, I can imagine was not easy considering the viewed as a pal, but
so
experience.
Yeah, it was a strange one. So it wasn't easy because obviously being brothers, you do fall out occasionally, but
I can imagine.
and his friends, you don't want to embarrass him in front of his friends and stuff. But to be honest, the team as a whole were really brilliant. I said that to them on my last day with them. They were honestly a great bunch of lads. Like, although they struggled through the season because they were the third team, they were brilliant. They listened to me first of all, which was really good considering I was 2 years older. They did their training. They didn't just want to muck about. I think the only one time we really had one muck about was in the Scottish Cup, which they were playing an Ayrshire team, which Robert, you'll probably know the Ayrshire League's very, very good compared to the sort of Dumfries League.
It's high standard, isn't it?
And
that's not what I've heard about Ayrshire teams. I've heard other things, but I won't.
They're very rough. And
there we go. He said it.
But these boys came down in a coach with their suits and ties and iPads and stuff. Honestly, it looked like they were playing a Premier League team. We got absolutely annihilated. My striker chose to go out drinking the night before, which at that age, that's the one thing I found really tough at that age is they do prefer going out on a Saturday. So on a Sunday, you don't know who you're going to get showing up.
It's reality of football these days, isn't it?
Yeah. And it's one of those. For me, there's such a development issue in that you go from under 17s to nothing. You either go to Sunday League, which is a really bad standard of football, or you go to Saturday League, which is a decent standard of football, but most people now work a Saturday, so they can't get that time off to progress in their football career.
Yeah, that's true.
There is such a jump, and it kind of links back to our reconstruction chat. You go from
definitely
Sunday League, and then you start to go into I always known it as like the South League, and then you build your way up. But like we talked about, it's really, really hard, and there's such a jump. But I think you're right.
Even Sunday League just now, there's that many teams that are folding just because of lack of funding.
Yeah, definitely.
And the other thing to look back to reconstruction is as well, like in the Ayrshire point, which is that actually we think there's a jump down here between Sunday and Saturday football. That Saturday football, when compared to elsewhere in Scotland, the jump is even greater because
definitely. I mean,
yeah,
we'll get on to it later. But when I was at university, I had played for a Saturday league team for 3 months, and the step from down here is massive because you don't play Saturday league teams. What you play is like Albion Rovers, under 20s, Stirling's under 20s, and you're blowing at your arse because they're so much better. Like you're playing in these proper stadiums, and
yeah,
it's different.
No, it's good. It's really good that you were involved in that, and it'll definitely help set you for the future, I can imagine.
And that was also a lovely segue into the next. Thank you very much
So,
for doing that.
LinkedIn. So, as you said, you went to university. What did you learn? What did you study first of all?
So at uni, I carried on my sports. So I carried on sports studies, which is a mixture of things. So it's not quite the area I wanted to go down. I wanted to go down PE teaching because I think that would have secured me a job afterwards. But unfortunately, at the time, Edinburgh University changed my entry from a year 1 to a year 2, and then just straight up rejected me without offering me year 1. So then that led to Stirling. God damn Edinburgh.
Who would go to Edinburgh?
Absolutely, Edinburgh Uni, firstly, you're terrible, sort your admin out. Number 2, pay your staff.
And there's our
Nice,
political
yeah.
secretary.
But if you want a sponsor.
No, I'll say no to them.
They would only
Nah,
press
so
me to say no to.
Anyway, went off to uni. Sports studies, it's loads of different things. So it's like fees, it's like the development of sports. So I ended up writing my dissertation on the development of women's football and how it's came back from the grave, which I really enjoyed because I got to talk about how women's football, especially during the World War, was bigger than men's football. It was getting greater attendances than what we see today, like 100,000 people. Obviously, safe standing, seating, health and safety is a bit different now, so you don't see those sort of crazy attendances. And it was just really interesting because obviously women's football is growing. However, having said that, the Women's World Cup is this year and they really struggled for tele-broadcasting. So it's maybe not growing as much as we hoped. But
definitely something we've talked about that we would discuss in the future. So it might be quite interesting to have you back on.
Yes.
Yeah. And break up your dissertation. Great market.
No, don't make me mark it.
No, but that's something we definitely want to talk about. So that would be
good. Spelling mistakes in that bad boy. You don't want to mark it.
No, that doesn't count into a dissertation.
No, so...
but yeah, it was one of those. As a whole, I say this all the time. I preferred college. The experience of university was fun, but with college it was 50% written, 50% practical. So I had experience. At uni it was 100% written, which for the last 2 years COVID was rife. So I got no experience, and then I left uni without no experience. And for me to do experience now for a coaching badge, it's £150 a go, and it gets dearer as you do it.
Yeah.
If you don't progress within a year, you reset. So I did have my coaching badges before uni. I've now reset to 0. And as a man with a child now, a house and bills to pay, I can't afford to just go voluntary work and coaching badges. So it's one of those.
I think it's really difficult in that sense because they think they should put things in place to help you get back into it, as opposed to like they don't have enough of these like of yourselves in it. So if they made it easier for you to get back into it, it would then increase attendances and such.
Exactly. I need to pull the Wales link. I need to look at what the FAW are doing on this because I think Wales has some sort of pathway like that, but I could be very wrong.
Something I could address in the future. But
yeah, it's good to see it. I mean, it's not just like the university and coaches and stuff. It's also happening to footballers. I mean, I think it's Raheem Sterling's just launched a massive campaign for people that are in graduate teams and then get released and have nothing to fall back on.
Yeah, that's also a sad reality of football, isn't it? Yeah. It's kind of a cutthroat business at times.
It is. After moaning about the commercial nature of football, I'm going to move us on to the main today, which is, fully on the commercial bit of football. We've got Ash on. Ash has, is a lover of kits, as you will see.
I've got to be honest, I'm buzzing for this.
We have looked at, so we've got all the Scottish Premiership kits that have been released at time of recording, as well as a couple of extras, and as I will show you in a minute, we are going to make a tier list. We're going to talk through them and where we think they should go on the tier list. So at this point, we're probably going to edit this, so the next thing you see is the tier list. So, by the magic of editing, we have now reached the tier list. So we have 5 categories, which is love, like, meh, dislike, and hate. We're going to go through these tops. We're going to do it one by one. So we each get the top. We're going to nominate what tier it should go in. And if people disagree, then we're going to disagree publicly, leave the arguments in, settle on where it's going. So the first one, which I'm going to do to kick us off, is the Aberdeen home top. and I'm going to nominate putting it in a straight meh. You know, the gold trim is nice. It's for 120th anniversary. I don't care that much about it. It doesn't look that gold. It just strikes me as a meh, which is fine. There's nothing wrong with consistency. I'm one for consistent kits, but this one just doesn't really do anything for me. So I'm proposing putting it in meh.
I would have to. I don't have any points against what you've just said. So yeah, it's not a bad top, to be honest.
I would have to agree as well. Yeah.
The top, I get this anniversary top, but I think I would like them to go for a more kind of retro look as opposed to.
I think compared to the away top, there's not as much creativity. Like,
Yeah.
I would have liked a bit more wildness. I don't know.
Yeah, they put all their effort into the away top. And speaking of it, that is your goal, Ash. Where would
this has to go in love. This is the nicest kit I've seen in a long time. I actually love it so much. It makes me want to rewatch Scottish football, and I'm, like I said at the start, I'm gonna have to find a wee dodgy deal.
Well,
I could get a wee fake one of these.
I think the Aberdeen marketing team have done pretty well on that one.
Yeah.
with your response there. So I think I like it. It does look
beautiful, and I have to say, sorry, Robert.
No, you go.
I love that Adidas have done this. Same with the film top, like the new film top's really nice, but I love the half and half on the Adidas stripes where it's like pink and white and it's not just the same colour.
Yes. Yeah.
I'm a big fan of that. And same with the film top, it's red and white this year. I really like it.
I'm going to throw one. Well, I'm going to put devil's advocate for one, but it does look like a bit of a glorified training top. But I do agree it is nice. So I'll let you have your love.
I'll agree and say it's even nicer in whatever light they shot it in the marketing shoot. It looks like properly reflects and glows, and it looks absolutely phenomenal.
The sponsor actually suits it as well.
It does.
I think it would look awesome in like a rave or a nightclub.
I think that's basically what the marketing bump was. I was going to say, you're right about the sponsor suit in it. There are several on this list, which we'll get to, where I don't think the sponsor suits it. Yeah. But on you go, Robert. You're right next, and it is the Celtic home top.
Well, I like to see that they've commemorated Brendan Rodgers returning with the snakeskin, and I'd like to know who attacked the top with a Sharpie.
Yeah.
It's a hate from me. It looks horrendous. Not just my bias view, it looks horrendous.
The long sleeve top looks even worse as well. I don't know if anyone's seen the long sleeve version of this.
I haven't actually.
The black lines all the way down the sleeve don't look great. I would say it's not as. There are some on here that we're coming to that I think are worse.
See, I'm going to disagree and say I really like it. I think it's different. I've not seen the long sleeve one. I can imagine the sleeve sponsor will probably get in the way and it will look terrible. My hate is the Dafabet sponsor.
Yeah, it's not good.
I hate gambling sponsors, and it'd be fine if it was just Dafabet, but what's with the big massive yellow circle at the top?
The massive D. Like if you have a striped top.
Sorry, Greg, what is it?
If you have hoops, put the sponsor in one of the hoops.
Sorry, where are we putting that massive D?
He's got you there.
Yeah, he has.
I don't know if you can tell by the lighting, but his cheeks have gone red. Which cheeks?
On that note, we might overrule you, and I'm tempted to put it in dislike.
Dislike, I'll take dislike.
No, do it for me. It's grown on me. I just like that it's different for once for the Celtic top.
The thing is though, I don't know if it was just a leaked one or I think it was talks of being an anniversary top or a special top. There was a design that was kicking about that from a non-biased point of view, it wasn't a bad design. It would have been a lot better than that, and it was
I know the one you're on about.
Original hoops, like green and white stripes, as opposed to, and I think the badge was like whited out because it was in that bit, and you couldn't see the sponsor in that. Whereas that,
this, in the words of a Celtic fan I spoke to about this, it's really easy to make a Celtic kit. You just do the same thing every year. This screams to me as we've tried a bit too hard with this one and it's not really worked. But
I think that's why I like it so much. I think it's different for once. I don't know.
Yeah, that's fair. We'll move on a bit with the Celtic away top. But it's me again. And for the second time in a row, I am going to nominate putting this in May. And it is a black top with a tiny bit of sleeve decoration. And they put all their effort into doing what I don't like about the home top.
Yeah. I think actually, you know what? The trim on the
trim is nice.
On the what do you call that collar? But and then on the arms, actually it suits the top. I just think it's kind of meh. Like it's not it's not amazing, but it's not horrendous. But
it's a pass. It's 6 out of 10. Move on.
yeah,
Yeah.
I'd agree with Mel on that one.
Definitely.
Getting the nice, easy ones that aren't going to cause arguments. Ash, you get Dundee home. For those who haven't seen the back of this, I tell you to look at the back of this when you have an opportunity on your favourite search engine. It says Dundee till I die, which in a local accent is apparently Dundee till I die. That, for me, removes any debate about the kit because I know where I'm putting it. But Ash, it's your decision.
I'm struggling with this one. Like, from a distance, I'd put in like.
If you squint your eyes,
I just squint my eyes to it, as Robert said.
Yep, I like it now.
I don't understand the wave pattern. Like, why is
Yeah.
it like small zigzags and it just gradually gets bigger? I don't know. Although, is that a little bit of tartan on the collar? Or am
There
I
is
just
tartan on the collar and on the back. It aligns with the
bonus points for that. Bonus points for
I like that, but
Indeed.
I think you're right. I like the tartan, but I think they've ruined it with the rest.
Yeah, I think I have to put in meh. The gold stands out. I like the gold, but nah.
I take it because they won the league last year.
Yes. Do we want to nominate? Because we'll do this by majority. Do we want to move it down from the meh it's been proposed then? I'll strongly say I want to move it down, mainly because I hate Dundee till I die on the back of it.
I mean, I've not seen the back of it, but if it does say Dundee till I die, that's a bit cringe. Maybe if they put it in like the actual collar.
Yeah, that's where that's where it is.
Okay.
It's the fact it's in a local accent though that it's so tin pot. But if you want to keep it in, no, I'm happy with that. I've voiced my hatred for it.
I wasn't meant until Ash pointed out the zigzag lines that I hadn't. You know, when you first just glance at the top and don't look at it in too much detail.
Yeah.
I actually properly noticed how they look, and I'm not a fan of that. I think
you're not a fan of zigzag lines on the top.
Yeah, but they go straight across.
If they just made it blue, it'd look fine.
Yeah.
So I'm not a fan of the moving zigzag cross, as opposed to if they went.
Yes.
If they did,
they're also not consistent, and that really annoys me.
Yeah, that's
apart from anything. Imagine you're a fan, you've had a few drinks, and you're staring at that. You're puking all over it.
So, do you wish to second the motion?
I'd take it to dislike.
Sorry, Ash.
That's fine.
You get Dundee away, Robert.
See, I don't mind this one. I don't like how the WN goes over the line on the blue stripes. I think that would have been quite nice. See if they put the sponsor smaller, maybe. For sponsors that don't fit, see also Ayr United at home, anyone at home, to see a Justin's badge, which has been squeezed into a tiny space and looks terrible. Yeah. First glance, I liked it. There's just little things that are kind of annoying me now. I don't like the fact the badge is blue. Yeah.
See, I don't mind the badge being blue. I would have changed the sponsor colour, I feel.
Yeah.
I don't think the gold and the blue, like the blue tartan, work too well. And the fact that the tartan's going through the sponsor, like you say, just...
I think I'm gonna propose meh and see what you say. I don't mind. It's got Dundee till I die on the back of it again, so I'm going to immediately propose to move it down. But again,
I think I'll go dislike. I think it's a bit too templatey.
Well, there we go. We've moved it down to dislike.
So that's settled it for me.
Oh, great! It's me again, and it's Hearts at home, and again, Hearts. This is a nice easy one for me. It's going in meh. It's a Hearts kit. It looks fine. Again, I feel like that should be enough to put it in like. There's nothing I dislike about it. I like that it's a charity sponsor. Do you know what? I've talked myself into putting it in like. If anyone wants to disagree, it's a Hearts top. They've done it well. I think keeping it simple has worked in their favour, and it's actually a nice top. And I'm going to agree on like.
Yeah, that's a Hearts top.
Yeah, it's a Hearts top. It looks nice.
But I think that kind of proves your point of the Celtic. They could just produce the same kit every year. I feel like Hearts are kind of in the same boat, but I feel like they've done it well. If that makes sense. Yes. There's kind of lines. I don't know how obviously you can see it on the screen. Yes. Because they're wee, but they're down the sleeve. Kind of down line, no, across, but going down on the sleeves, and I actually quite like it. So. Grand. Ash, you get Hearts away. You're getting all the really difficult ones. Yeah, I've got a few points on this one.
I'm gonna lie, I hate it. I'm normally a huge fan of top. Yeah, I think it, but
did someone have an accident with a paint roller? That's my question.
It's Bolgan. Why is the sponsor different?
Because they only have a charity on the home kit this year. I had to Google it to see what it is. It's like some sort of business analytics company. It doesn't look like that. It looks like a gentleman's club. Fair
enough. So I'm just gonna rinse this very quickly. Sponsor's horrendous. They've ran out of ink, as Robert said. The collar, what's the collar about? It's like, it's minging. I hate it personally.
Like Greg said with the roller, it looks like they've been painting it, and you know, like at primary school when you just
Yeah.
like started like in you're painting in different ways, never the same way.
Yeah.
They've tried to paint a balloon or something, and that's what it's came out.
Yeah.
So yeah, dislike for me.
I don't care enough to remove it out or hate it. So yeah, I'm happy.
Even if you change the like pink part into white, it might look. I don't know.
Yeah.
The color is really triggering.
Yeah.
Oh great! Oh no, it's not back to me. It's Robert with the Hibs home top, also known as the Bevy top. The fact that
what a sponsor.
I know.
If people haven't noticed as well, there's a QR code in Bevy. In the Bevy logo, there's a QR code in the middle. I assume that's because people don't know who they are, so they have to scan it to find out.
It's quite a good sponsor for a football team, let's be honest. And I can't really condone that, and not when I wouldn't condone bit in any way, but obviously we slagged it off so much. Like the collar.
Yeah.
I think I like it much more than last year's kit, because last year was like a silhouette Easter Road, wasn't it? Or was that just the away kit? No, I think that was the home kit as well. Obviously I'm not a fan of the colour, but we're going off kit design. I'd probably say like.
Yeah, I'll dump it in like.
Is my computer failing me, or is the badge like black?
The badge is very dark.
I think it might just
dark,
be
dark green.
Yeah.
Right. I do like that a lot, to be fair.
We are going to pop it in like, unless there's any disagreements.
No.
Oh great! I've just seen what I've got. Hibs away.
It's beautiful.
Oh no!
It's beautiful.
I like it.
I'm going to get outvoted for saying I really don't like the cuffs and the collar.
It's kind of a retro collar and cuffs.
The collar reminds me of the Nigerian top that they wore at the World Cup. Like the crazy part. It's stunning. I really like it.
It might grow on me. I'm not. It hasn't grown on me enough to move it out of proposing it in like rather than love. I don't like it as much as the Aberdeen top.
I think it could be one of those ones where it looks all right in a photo, but when you actually wear it, it might not be as nice, or it could be the exact opposite. It could be nice and it looks in the photo. That's we're doing it this way.
Let me ask you this. Now, a football player in that might be looking good. A 50-year-old dad who's had a lot of beer in his life, like me, will he look good in that? But I suppose that's not the point of this. So I'm going to propose a like. You can both agree to put it up to love if you want, but I don't like it enough as much as the Aberdeen shirt to put it anywhere near love.
No, I agree.
Like. There you go, Ash. Kilmarnock at home. We spoke about this before we started.
Got the scissors out and cut an old Rangers polo shirt from JJB Sports onto the top.
Yes, they have. Alternatively, Tesco's.
Oh, no, we're just blue, we're not red.
It's like they're advertising the Dutch flag or something at the top. Personally, I'm not a fan of the collar on a football shirt.
No,
nor am I. Nor one with a button.
It's not a rugby shirt. It's a football shirt. And to be honest, that's bogging. I'd put it in hate.
Do you know what? I agree. The sponsor has a gradient on it that I've just noticed, and that's really bugging me.
Yeah, the
gold colours on
and the yellow. Like, why is the James so small and the fruit so big? Like,
I think I don't think that would really come on its fault, but I think they could have maybe said something. It falls into the same boat, and obviously you're not going to get away with being come on it with the stripes, but it falls into the same category as Celtic, as I think it just doesn't look right with the stripes.
Yeah,
they're hoops, but I suppose these are stripes. But I wouldn't say I hate it. I'd go dislike. No higher than dislike, but
I'm happy to put it in hate if that's where Ash is proposing.
Yeah, I would go hate.
That's a good thing about having an odd number now. We can do a majority.
Yes, we can.
Oh.
Sorry, Kyle. It's a good job you're not here.
Is this my turn?
Yes, it is.
Right. I'm going to bring back another phrase. Someone's starting their tractor outside.
Yes, they are.
But I think you can hear it on the mic. As I said before, this one is a glorified training top. I think it'll be one of those ones. I think it'll look better when they play. But I know Greg isn't a fan, and I don't think Ash is a fan either.
If you look really closely, it looks like a wee stick man holding a kid.
I
looks
thought
like chemistry.
It looks like
chemistry, yeah. Aye.
The sponsor looks nicer.
I'm going
There's a positive from it.
I'm going meh.
I would like to propose we downgrade this.
Yeah, I would go hate.
I'm going for dislike, and I think that's where it's going to end up going.
It's the blue collar as well. Get off my screen, please.
It's either a training top or a licensed Kilmarnock pyjama top.
Yes. Yes, the man with the motorbike's back.
I don't know if you can hear that, Ash. Can you hear the motorbike?
No, you're fine.
Oh, good.
Smash it.
This mic was good. I'm glad I invested in it.
Yes. So yes, I've got Livingston, what we're assuming is the away kit, or what definitely is the away kit. This is all we can see of it. This is the only photo I can find of any Livingston kit. They've only released one. It's fine. I don't know what to say on it. I can't tell by his arms if there is chevrons all the way down. If so, that might change my opinion.
Yeah.
But I don't have enough to go on it to put it anywhere but meh.
I'd agree. It looks nice. Yeah.
Judging by that, I love it. It looks retro. The sponsor makes it look even more. I really like that. Although it does remind me of an old Noble Hill primary school shirt.
Yes.
It kind of drops it down to a like for me, but I don't know. I kind of like the retro look.
I proposed it as meh. You want to upgrade it? Cast and vote, Robert.
I like it.
Like it is. We'll no doubt see a photo of the full top at some point, and we will come back to this and say that it's completely terrible. Ash.
All I'm going to say is they must have got some good money to have G4 claims on their shirt.
I have no idea what G4 claims are. I assume they're not related to G4S.
It's a shame because it is very much a Motherwell top. But the massive stripe in the middle with the G4 claims sponsor, that's massive. Ruined it.
There's nothing wrong with the what I'm assuming is a claret band, because that's Motherwell colour. It's the sponsor logo which has just been typed in Microsoft Word on top of it.
Yeah, no, it really does look like someone has just put it in Word, and it's a shame because it's not a bad looking shirt. It's just yet again a sponsor ruins the shirt.
When you're on Microsoft Word and then you accidentally highlight a bit and then you accidentally change the size of the text, the other bit that you were typing up, I think that's what's happened here and I've not noticed.
And they've got
or someone's hit Control B by accident.
See, I would put it in men, but the fact that the Celtic home top's in dislike, and I think it's nicer. I don't know. Let's put it there. I'm going to put it there.
I'm going dislike. I think it's too. That's ruined the sponsor. The sponsor ruined it. It's too big.
Did you want dislike or meh?
You said meh.
Did you definitely say meh? Because it felt like you were teetering on dislike, and I don't want to put it. I'll
go dislike just because it's sponsor. Sorry, Motherwell fans. It's a nice top, but.
Wait, whose top is it?
Nice try. I've watched too many of your podcasts to fall for that one.
At least he's watched them.
Right, it's good to know somebody does. Motherwell away.
It's very staunch. I like this orange sash on it.
Do you know what?
I don't know if it's the photo, but the Macron badge kind of looks weird inside that though.
It looks off-centered, and that's the only thing I can find negative to say about this. Other than
it looks like a Roma top.
Kind of.
Like, if I was them, personally, I would have gone for the core yellow. And yet again, that G4 claims is really pissing me off.
It doesn't look as bad this time.
It's much better than that.
What I will say is this looks like, if you remove the orange sash and pretend they're on an orange walk, if you remove that, it looks like the shirt a manager would wear in the technical area with the badge and then their name underneath.
Yeah.
But after saying all of that, and the fact the Macron badge doesn't look like it's in the centre of that sash and really annoys me, I don't hate it.
I like it. I think it's different. I think it's nice. Not just due to some of the arrangements on it. I think it's just, I think the last one they went too simple and they've not thought about the text size, whereas I think the sponsor looks much better under the badge because it's smaller and it's not, because let's be honest, if they put it right across the middle, they would look stupid anyway. So
that's why the previous one, the sponsor's so big, so they can make up for it being so tiny here.
Probably.
I like it, but because the sponsor's so small, it does look like a training shirt you'd pick up from like GGB or something.
Do get that. I'm still going. Is it my turn?
Yes.
Oh, I'm going like.
I don't disagree enough to change.
Yeah, no, I don't disagree. Not a bad looking top.
Grand. This has also realised that since Robert's done Motherwell away, he doesn't get to pass opinions on any of the tops. This feels like Hearts for me, the Rangers home top. It's a Rangers top. It looks like it's been done quite well. I don't mind the stripes going down the middle. It's a bit templatey, but I don't mind it. Again, betting sponsor, lose marks. What's the 0% mission?
I love this one.
It's like for me, it's not love.
It's based on I can't remember what year it was, but I think Soonest brought it. If I can picture that in my head, it was based on an old top. They've kind of went with a retro look. I feel the Unibet could have been a bit smaller. Would have probably added to the top a bit more.
What's their 0% mission?
You tell me. We'll need to look into that. No, but I think the sponsors would be a bit big. I like the stripes. I like the collar. Kind of gives off what year was it? 2009. Like Magic Bugera on that top. Kenny Miller, that kind of collar. I like the design because it's kind of based on the retro. I'd probably say to be honest.
That's where I'm proposing it goes.
It's very much a Rangers top. As Greg says, sponsored betting sponsor ruins it again. And for me, I don't get the Unibet. I don't get this. Have Unibet. What's the point of the 4 dots and the 0 mission? I don't.
Yeah.
I feel like literally, if it just said Unibet, it would have looked like an old-fashioned top.
As you say, it's a Rangers shirt. You can't go wrong.
Yeah, that's a like from all of us. Ash, you get Rangers away, which
it's Oral-B toothpaste. That's all I can say about it.
Yeah, you've ruined it for me now.
That's why 9 out of 10 dentists prefer it, that one.
Or these dentists buying the new Rangers top. For me, it's a meh. It either looks like Oral-B or it looks like the red arrows are shooting up the top.
Either way, it's pretty stylish.
Which I suppose if it's red arrows, a few Rangers fans would like that,
Well, you got Rangers fan.
I don't like it as much as the home top. I do like it. However, I think it is kind of meh. I feel like the stripes kind of ruin it. See, if that was just the top, then to be fair, everybody said it looked too plain, so you can't really have it both ways. I like the collar again. I like the.
See, if it was red with white and blue stripes, would it be better?
Maybe.
I think it'd be better if the stripes were thicker. I don't know. Maybe it's just me.
I don't know. I'd probably say meh, to be honest. I think Ash is right. It's not bad. I do like it, but I'd probably say meh overall. The home top's much nicer.
One of those. I think I'll grow on you.
Ross County at home do not have an amazing photograph. It is a publicity photo of 4 players. One of them looks like Yandanda. That's probably because one of them is Yandanda. I don't like how there's a half tuck, a tuck, and 2 on tucks.
Right, we're not rating on how they wear it. It's how it looks.
I mean, I wouldn't be telling that guy that he didn't like his shirt, the tuck dude. He looks like he should be a rugby player, no footballer.
Yeah. Again, for me, it's a Ross County top. Is it bad? It looks worse on the untucked. It looks much nicer tucked in.
No.
Yeah. Off to see the white bit.
No, a little bit.
See, I'm with Greg. I quite like it. Tucked, it looks retro. It looks really cool. Untucked, I think it ruins it a bit. I don't know.
I don't like
zoom in. I quite like the kind of pattern going up. I think it adds to what would have been a boring top without the pattern. I think I quite like it. I'd put but that's just me.
I'm very much a meh on this.
It's a majority. We're a democracy here.
Yeah, I quite like it. It's nice to see a sponsor that actually looks good on the top.
That's true.
Yeah.
What are you? You've got to cast a vote, Ash. Like or meh?
Like, please.
Like.
I'm so sorry if you hear a baby crying in the background.
No, we can't. It's all good. Ross County away.
Who starts it now?
Ash. Someone else has beat the Painters. I'll put that in straight away. Parks away, Ross County away. Both been at the Painters.
Such a shame. Their home top was quite nice. That's bogging again. The black sponsor doesn't go with the shirt. The ink's ran out. I don't know why are so many teams going for this sort of shite graffiti spray paint look.
All I can think about is when it's been snowing and you're outside and you bring your shoes in and you've got this trail, the trail, and your mum goes, "You take your shoes off." Or my mum did anyway.
I wouldn't have been allowed anywhere near there with shoes on. I was going more with the fact that is the idea of this, is there enough painters in Dingwall that they buy this and then eventually becomes and they've just started it for them. It's so my dad, having recently moved, my dad did some painting for me and he has a shirt, a t-shirt that now looks like this because he was painting with white paint.
He designed it.
Yeah.
It just looks terrible. Yeah, hate for me.
Yeah,
He looks like John Rankin.
I'm not going to comment on who it is.
Right.
St Johnstone at home again, only released one kit, so we don't have the St Johnstone away top to review. It is you.
Retro look. Sponsor ruins it. However, I like that they've not put the lines through the sponsor, because it wouldn't surprise me if some teams did.
Yeah.
Sorry if I'm not looking at the camera. We've got the top sitting here, so apologies if I'm not looking at that. I think the Macron badge looks better in there.
It's actually centered this time.
Yeah, I like it. Do I like it enough to put it in like though? I know that sounds stupid. It's kind of one of these things where I think the sponsor ruins it again. However, no, I'm going like.
I don't mind enough. I think the fact I don't mind enough means that my opinion should probably be it's meh.
Yeah.
But I don't know where we put it.
I really like it. Does it remind me of I hope I'm not butchering the team. St. Petersburg. It looks like an old St. Petersburg top.
I like a Zenit top.
Don't
Yeah.
remind me.
Possibly Zenit. But no, it's nice.
Into like we go. The Premiership's doing well. We've only got
Yeah, it's not been too bad.
yeah. It's me for St Mirren. Great.
I like it.
Do you?
I love it.
I thought you were saying it was great.
Mhm.
I thought you were saying it was great.
Yeah. Oh no. I said great as in, oh great, I'll have to judge this.
I like it. It looks like a Heston top for any Dumfries folk.
My only bugbear is the Big Bay Brown sponsor, and that's only because working at Curry's we have adverts and it's always for Big Bay.
If it matters to you, it matters to Digby Brown, yeah.
Exactly.
Fourth
but
one.
no, that's a stunning top.
I like it.
Okay. We have completely different opinions on this. For anyone who uses the graphics software GIMP, the checkered pattern reminds me of what happens when you accidentally delete your layer in GIMP.
No, it looks like a checkered flag. It looks like come on, let's get to finish. Like, yeah. I like
the
it.
season's been finished before we started because we got beat at the weekend by a lower league team.
I think if it was the stripes were consistent, like black, it would be a love. But I think it's just that, like, I think the kind of checkered look kind of ruined it for me.
I'm going to propose meh, and you can overrule me to like.
If you pop the Gretna badge on that.
Part of that though is see if as someone who supports the team who wears black and white stripes in Newcastle, if that was a Newcastle top, I wouldn't like it. But it's not. It's a St Mirren top. I'm going to propose meh. You can both overrule me.
I'm going like.
I love it, to be honest. I don't know where that's
like that.
Into like it goes. St Mirren away. Ash, on you go. They've forgot to reinstate their layer again on GIMP. It's still there.
It's not quite as nice as the home one. Meh.
I agree. I think if the sponsor was also pink, it would be a like. I think they've kind of let it down. It just looks stupid.
With a pink circle?
Nah, it had to all be pink. I'm going meh as well.
I think, see, if you kept the top black all the way down and had the little checker pattern on the sleeves, I think it would look a lot nicer.
I'll ask the other question. They play in black and white for home kit.
Yeah.
Why on earth do you have a black away kit? That basically necessitates a third kit. It's completely pointless.
Well, Rangers had about 6 last year, so.
Yeah. Like, at least when Newcastle go for kind of a plain palette away kit, they do like a dark blue or something because it's like at least different enough.
It's a money game now, though. It's like I hate when teams have a Champions League kit or a European kit. It's just...
But I'm thinking like Celtic are going to have a third kit because at some point they're going to play St Mirren at home, and Celtic's away top is like Celtic away are going to have to play St Mirren, and the white and green isn't different enough from St Mirren's home top to wear that, and the black Celtic away top isn't different enough from St Mirren's home top to wear. So they're going to have a third kit, though they will anyway because they like exploiting revenue. Same with Motherwell and Aberdeen. Actually, it's not different enough.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right. So let's keep going.
Yes, let's keep going. So that is the end of the Scottish Championship. We've now got some local Dumfries and Galway teams and some randoms just to add them in here. I forgot whose goal it is. It's yours, isn't it? Yes, it is.
The colour kind of ruins it for me. I do like the top. I like the kind of
Queen's Home, we should say.
Yeah, obviously it's going to be a bit biased. I like it. No more than like, but I like it.
I really like it. I would put it in the pattern of love, actually. I adore that top. I really like the diamonds on it. It's an example of how to do a blue shirt really well.
Yeah, I'd put in like, I'm kind of with Robert on the collar, but the pattern's nice.
This is the next one's the one I want to do.
The next one, I'm going to get it as well. And I think I might be in the camp of I'm not sure. So there are Queen's fans, having seen the Twitter debate when this was released, there are Queen's fans who absolutely love this. I know you're one of them. There are a lot of other clubs who are rinsing Queen's for this, hating it. And I think I'm somewhere in the middle. I think it has the potential to be a really good top. It's a bit busy for the sponsor. If we're doing this objectively and removing bias, if this was anyone else, we'd be going, this is far too busy, the sponsor looks terrible.
You know when you've got a notebook and you rip the pages out and you've got that kind of spine of the notebook, that's what those kind of lines
removing those lines
would make it so much.
Oh, now you've said that.
Ultimately, Ash, it's your decision, so...
I'm going like...
Is it my decision?
It is your decision. Oh no, it's mine. Crap.
I was going to say, I really want to see this one in person.
Yeah.
To me,
good show actually.
Do you know what?
To me, I think it's
for me.
I think it's Bogan. I don't know. The Queen's badge just looks in the wrong place. It looks like a rug you would buy in like a rug store. I don't know. But at the same time, it's one of those where if I've seen that in a beer garden on a nice summer day, I'd probably change my mind.
It's one of those tops. So I've got like any team in the South top in Cardiff, and people react and go, "What team is that?" If I wore that in Cardiff, people are stopping me every 5 seconds. Going, "What on earth is that?"
Thing is, though, right? I think, like I said, that you could kick about in that, and it would look good. You know, if folk kind of like kicking about in retro tops and kind of out there tops, that's what I think. That's one of those tops.
Yeah, I am going to completely ignore any notion for a debate on this and pop it in May, and because I know you don't like it and I know you do, so I feel like that's going to be the best outcome we can get from this.
Yeah.
Ash, you instead get another local Freezing Galway team. You get Annan Hole.
Well, first of all, it's not got Tommy Goss in the back, so it's hate. Nah. It's different. No, you know what? I'm going to put in dislike.
Okay.
Just because too many sponsors for my liking.
I don't think it's anywhere near how good what their last season's were. I really liked last season with the black.
Yeah.
Black arms. Like
we need some more. We need something else around the collar for me.
Yeah, I think that bit's kind of too plain and they've like overcompensated in the funky lines. I would probably go meh. I wouldn't say dislike. I'd go meh.
I'm going to also nominate meh. Annan away.
However,
you go, Robert. I seen a photo of wearing this at the weekend, and it looks better than this photo.
I didn't say fine said.
I
really like it, and it's kind of version on love. I think Annan will suit that kind of red away top.
Annan are another team who can do this kind of thing though, because they wear it in yellow.
Kind of teetering on the edge here between love and like. What do you think, Ash?
Personally, I love it. I do think it looks a bit rugby-ish, but it's out there. It's cool.
Oh no, I've just seen a photo. Love.
Yeah.
And as Greg says, I kind of like the red for Annan.
Yeah.
It's different. It's nice.
Great. That is
we finally got another love. Hey.
We do.
And they're both away tops.
They are both away tops. So this is Stranraer at home. Again, I gave myself one that I don't really know about. I put this in another Freezing Galway team. They've only released a home kit. I don't know about it. Why is it half finished? Why have they put 2 different designs on it and not decided which one's worse?
I think if the design around the badge, like, you know, that kind of with the spaces in between, I think if that went right across the top and then I think it would have been a like. I think it's a meh.
I'm hallucinating. I actually think it's a dislike.
I just like that the thing advertising it, the only thing instant that staying alive.
Yeah.
But
notably advertising something that will help you leave Stranraer, which is advice to anyone who goes to Stranraer.
Which you should do if you buy that top.
Yes. I'm nominating dislike. Robert says Ash.
Dislike. Yeah.
Dislike?
Yep.
Grand. Ash, you get this. Partick at home. So again, we've done the Freezing Galway teams. I had space left for another 3, so we've done 1 from Championship, League 1, League 2.
So again, it might just be my computer that's let me down, but the red bit of stripe before the black makes that sleeve look bigger on that side.
Why have you said that to me?
It is bogging. It looks like Ronald McDonald bought a football top. I don't know if it's like an optical illusion, but I'm glad you can see it. But it just makes that sleeve look bigger.
Wow. I really like this.
Nah.
No, it's I don't know.
It looks like they've been to
It's a mess for me. It's different.
Sorry, Ash,
but it's a mess.
they've been to Turkey, they've bought an Adidas top, and it's making with two stripes.
So what you're saying, meh?
Dislike.
I quite like it, so it's going in meh. On you go, Robert. Wait. I've completely lost. We've somehow got the order wrong. But on you go, Robert.
Doesn't matter. The two O'Neill's tops, this one and the one from before, are not inspiring me. It feels like a kind of you would go to your school disco wearing it.
Crunchy carrots have nothing to do with food. I googled it.
What is it?
No idea. Can't remember. Something really meh. I think it's a media marketing company.
If that wee red bit in the collar was white, it would look like a vicar. But
yeah,
it looks like a Canada ice hockey top.
Yeah,
kind of. Yeah, I get that.
Not enough to dislike it. I think that's one of the ones that would look better on in the pitch.
So I could be wrong when I looked at this. I think that sponsor is not centred.
Maybe just the follow. I'm going meh.
I proposing disliking that.
I think it should personally be in the darts. Dislike.
Dislike, and that means I get this last one, which is Dumbarton at home, and I honestly adore this. I am proposing love on this.
See if I do like it. See if they just centered the badge.
Is the badge not centered?
No, I mean like on the top.
Oh,
would they not really benefit of the top, the badge being in the center of the top, and then having that line going down?
Maybe. I'm proposing putting this in love. I think it's a great.
Yeah, that's a thing of beauty again.
Like I wouldn't say love, but like. But if these are both love,
I'm proposing love.
Yeah, no, love for me. It's really nice.
We've got 3 loves and 3 hates. We tend to like some stuff. There's some stuff in meh, which is mainly things we all disagree on. And
the only thing is, for practicality, I do hate a white football top because it never stays white.
Rest in peace, my Vancouver white caps home top.
He said there, but it wasn't. Right,
yeah.
So that brings us to the end of that. That was good.
Yes.
I hope anyone who disagrees lets us know in the comment section, because this will be a good, interesting point for discussion.
So we're back from the tier list. The last thing we're going to get Ash to do after Kyle's success last week is we're going to try the new quiz again. We've got a guest on. We're going to see if he can get his name on the leaderboard alongside Kyle. There's only one name on it so far, so he definitely will. 2.5 minutes. Before we start, just a reminder, 11 questions in 2.5 minutes, starting at number 1, finishing at number 11. You can do as many wrong answers as you want. You can keep guessing until you get it right. You get 3 switches. So if you don't know the answer to the question, you want to move on, say switch, we'll go to the opposite question. Robert's going to keep the time.
Give me that.
And I'm going to ask you, Ash, which one would you like, set 1 or set 2?
Set 1, please.
Set 1.
I have to be born. I was born on the first. My daughter was born on the first. Lucky number. Let's go.
Let's hope it is lucky.
Let's hope it is lucky.
Probably not.
If you're really struggling, Robert might help you.
We'll see.
2.5 minutes. Time starts when I finish the first question.
Oh, wait.
Number 1. This player wore number 1 for Rangers between Cammy Bell and Alan McGregor.
What's the goalie doing top?
Yeah.
Marshall.
Say that again?
Marshall?
No.
This is not good.
Switch if you want. You get 3 switches.
I switch.
Switch. This goalkeeper inherited Chelsea's number 1 and has moved there in 2018.
In 2018?
Yep.
Peter Cech?
No. Bit later than that.
Who do you think? Who's? Begovic.
No.
He turned into a coach one game. He wouldn't go off.
Yeah, still there.
Kepa.
Kepa is correct. Number 2. This player won 2 World Cups and is the most capped Brazilian of all time.
Pele? Nah, skip.
No, other number 2 question. This player wore number 2 for Scotland versus Norway and Georgia.
I told you I'm looking for number. Who's number 2?
Scottish player, played right back.
Tierney.
No, right back.
Other side.
Robinson, sorry.
No.
Robinson?
No, other side still.
Had a brief spell in Italy. After he
Italy,
left.
played for Brentford,
Oh, you bam.
played for Hearts.
I forgot his name.
Something Greg gets if he goes on a night out.
You beat me to it.
Something Greg is.
Hit on his neck.
Oh, Hickey. Adam Hickey.
Aaron Hickey, correct. Number 3. This player is the all-time top goal scorer for Ghana, wearing number 3 for his country and during part of his time at Sunderland.
During Sunderland.
Played for Sunderland, also played for Ghana, really famous, scored a ton of goals. 2014, whatever World Cup they got really far, 2014.
Is that 2010?
Oh, it might, yeah, might have been 2010.
Oh, Uruguay. Suarez turned out a keeper.
Nah, skip. I've used them with skips.
Last skip, this player is the current wearer of Arsenal's number 3.
That is
8 seconds.
You've already used it.
Yeah, you said his name already.
Tierney, yeah.
Kieran Tierney, number 4. This player is the current wearer of Man City's number 4.
And that's time up.
Walker.
That is the time up. It's not Kyle Walker. It is Calvin Phillips.
Told you I'm awful with numbers, man.
So,
I made Kyle Farmer look smart. I'm raging.
we will register your 3 points on the leaderboard, and that will be there. If you want to come back on and prove it, let us know. But that is everything for this week. You usually do this bit.
Who's number 1 for Rangers?
West
Who's number 1?
Wes Fodringham.
I wouldn't have got that.
I should do that, yeah. Number 1 for Rangers was Wes Fodringham. The Brazilian most capped of all time, won 2 World Cups, is Cafu. And what was the other number 3 question? It was who scored top goal scorer for Ghana, or number 3 for Sunderland, Asamoah Gyan.
Nah, would never go out.
Yeah, well, big thank you, Josh.
Thank you for coming on.
Yeah.
Yes, thanks for having me, lads. Enjoyed.
No, it's good. We'll hopefully have you back on in the future, so that'll be good.
Yes.
Yeah,
Right, so yeah, thanks very much for listening. Like, subscribe, all that jazz. Hope you enjoyed it.
Thank you.
Any slating you want to do, get in the comment section.
Especially if it's about my opinions.
Yeah, we want to hear what people think about the top. So yeah.
And Elon Musk, 50 likes for time, please.
Right, thank you very much. See you later.
See ya.
Yeah. Enjoy that.
Say Godspeed.
Godspeed.